Hi, boys and girls, welcome back. So, our objective today, we will continue to learn to read and spell contractions formed from a verb paired with the word not. So, last week we focused on 8 words. This week we're going to focus on another 8 words, verbs that are paired with the word not. So, let's go ahead and sit up straight. We're going to chant these words together. And then I will ask you to grab your word work notebook and something to write with. Are you all ready? Let's start with the first 2 words. Cannot, could not, have not, has not, had not, is not, are not, must not. As we look at the verbs that are in red, I know you guys are thinking, oh, I know those words. Yeah, these are some sight words that you see in most of your reading, and you've been learning these words since kindergarten. So, all you have to think about when you're focusing on spelling contractions, right? Think about those sight words that you know, and we are going to practice writing the contractions for these pairs. Go ahead and open up your word work notebook to a clear page. Write today's date, January 26, 2021. And I want you to pick up whatever you're writing with and go ahead and write this word down, just like we did last week. You're going to write the word cannot, just like how you see it on the board. Then I want you to write an equal sign next to that word, because you are then going to write the contraction for this pair. Okay, so remember what we talked about last week. It's very, very simple when we want to form a contraction. You keep the verb how it is, unless I teach you otherwise. And all you have to do with the word not is take away the O and replace it with an apostrophe. So let's go ahead and try that. So here we have the word cannot. We know that the verb is can, so let's go ahead and write can. We keep that the same. And to form the contraction, right, for this specific pair, boys and girls, so I really need you to pay attention because there are 2 N's here. All we have to do is keep one N. We're going to take away the O, write an apostrophe, and then write the letter T. So cannot forms the contraction can't. Do you all use that word? Can't? Yeah, I know you guys use it a lot when you are having your daily conversations. So go ahead and write the word can't next to the word cannot. Can't is the contraction for cannot. All right? So the rule here is just keep one N, take away the another N and the O, and replace it with an apostrophe and the T. And remember, boys and girls, if you have to pause the video to write this down or replay it just so that it can make sense to you, go ahead and do so, all right? Whatever works best for you. Let's go ahead and continue. Here we have the word could not. Go ahead and write this word down on your paper. Write an equal sign next to it. And let's think about that rule, right? How to form the contraction. We're going to keep the verb the same. So could, let's go ahead and write could down. And here, we're going to follow that rule of just taking away the O and replacing it with an apostrophe. So what letter are we going to write next? Yeah, an N, take away the O, put an apostrophe, and then a T. And the contraction is now couldn't. So the contraction for could not is couldn't. Good job. Go ahead and write this pair down. Have not. Have not. Write the equal sign. Let's think about Let's think about that rule. What are we going to keep the same? The verb, have. Yes, you're right. Let's go ahead and write the word have. We're going to keep that the same. And we're just going to follow that rule with the word not, taking away the O and replacing it with an apostrophe. So what two letters are we going to keep in the word not now? N apostrophe T. The next pair is has not. Go ahead and write has not in your notebook, then add the equal sign. Looking at has not, we are going to keep the verb how it is. So let's go ahead and write the word has. And let's think about the rule for the word not. We're going to keep the N, take away the O, replace it with an apostrophe, and then add the T. Let's go ahead and add that. Keep the N, take away the O, add an apostrophe, and then the T. And the contraction is now hasn't. Has not, contraction, hasn't. Next pair, had not. Go ahead and write this word down. Then write your equal sign. Think about the rule. Keep the verb the same. Let's go ahead and write had. And think about the rule with the word not. We're going to go ahead and add the N, take away the O, replace it with an apostrophe, then add the T. And the contraction is hadn't. Had not, contraction, hadn't. Here we have the pair is not. All right, let's go ahead and write that down. Write your equal sign. The same pattern, boys and girls, the same rule. Keep the verb how it is. So let's go ahead and write is. And think about the rule with not. What do you guys think? Go ahead and try it. Let's see what you guys come up with. Yeah, we keep the N, take away the O, replace it with an apostrophe, then add the T, and the contraction is now isn't. I know you all use that word a lot. Is not, contraction, isn't. Next pair, are not. Go ahead and write this word down. Write your equal sign. And are not, same pattern and rule. Keep the verb the same. Let's go ahead and write the verb are. Add our N, take away the O, replace it with an apostrophe, then add the T. And here we have the contraction, aren't. Are not, contraction, aren't. You guys are doing such a great job. Keep it going. And here is our last word. Now, this pair, it's going to follow the same pattern and rule, but it might look very different to you all because this might be a word that you don't see very often. But I did want to expose you all to this pair because you might want to start using it in your writing, or you might come across this word, this contraction throughout the books that you are going to start reading as you move on forward. So must not. We're going to go ahead and keep the verb how it is. So let's go ahead and write must not down, write our equal sign, then go ahead and write must. And if we're following that rule, we're going to go ahead and attach the N, take away the O, add the apostrophe, then the T. And look, boys and girls, doesn't the word look kind of strange? Yeah, it does. But here we have the contraction mustn't, okay? And that sounds very strange too, but it is what it is. So the pair must not, contraction mustn't. And people do use this word. So if this is a word that you want to start using, go for it. All right, so now that we went through our contractions, let's go ahead and sit up straight and let's chant it together. You all ready? Okay. Can't, couldn't, haven't, hasn't, hadn't, isn't, aren't, mustn't. All right. Now, let's go ahead and show your work. I want you to take a picture of your page with the 8 contractions and upload it to your WordWork Padlet. Continue practice reading and spelling each of these contractions. So far, you had 14 contractions to work on. Practice, 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 and continue the challenge, boys and girls. Share with your teacher when you add one of these contractions to your writing or you find one in your book. I hope you all enjoyed the lesson, and I will see you next time.